Basically, we are implementing two conflict prevention training programs focused on journalism. One is called Land and Conflict Sensitive Journalism. The other one is called Free and Fair Media. So I would like to talk about this project called Land and Conflict Sensitive Journalism. In the run-up to the 2007 election and even during the post-election violence in 2008, some of the vernacular radio stations were accused of fueling conflict, basically by broadcasting abusive language, sometimes hate speech, or they didn't know how to counter callers. Sometimes they were also hostage of their communities, pushed to broadcast this or that, and of course there was also the problem of media ownership. So we were in Kenya at this time implementing a health project, but we decided to respond very rapidly to the situation, and we decided to use a methodology that is called conflict-sensitive journalism to train, to engage those radio stations that were problematic at the time. We had an immediate response, and this immediate response that was roundtable, workshop, mentoring, in-house, I mean inside the radio station, transformed into a project. This project is funded by USAID, and basically we have isolated 15 radio stations that fueled somehow post-election violence in 2008. So these 15 radio stations are from Nairobi, from the Rift Valley, from Kisumu, Mombasa, and we've been training them since 2008, since December 2008. This is a long-term engagement up to March 2013, and I hope that the project will run until November 2013 so that we can really go through the election process. Basically, conflict sensitivity in journalism means a different form of journalism. It means that you play a mediatory role in your environment. It means that you give the people a voice in their community. And we promote a journalism that is solution-oriented. We also really focused on language. What is the language you use? The language you use can be very powerful and can be damageable in your community. So we've had workshops for editors, for talk shows, for reporters, roundtables. We had fantastic activities focused on land conflict, land being a major cause, a root cause of conflict in Kenya. We've also tried to really link the civil society and the media in our 4 years project, and as a result we have trained 350 journalists from the vernacular radio station and produced nearly 3,000 peace and reconciliation stories. 3,000. So the first maybe lesson was long-term engagement. The second one in our project is that one conflict-sensitive story means nothing, but 3,000, it is meaningful. You have to repeat and repeat and repeat the same message about police reforms, about justice reforms, about marginalization, about the constitution. This is how it works. One message, it's nothing. A lot, this can work. We've had a fantastic impact. Many of our journalists have become editors. Also in the constitution referendum, we could see that no vernacular station we partnered with was involved in hate speech or was singled out for negative coverage. We were very much involved in covering the ICC process in Kenya since 2010, and we have partnered with the Office of the Prosecutor, and monitoring and evaluation of our project shows that there was a marked improvement in the stories filed by our journalists, linking justice and reconciliation. I can say also that in our project we have created champions. That was a very interesting point also. A good lesson. Champions, journalists, talk shows who are championing one cause. One of the things I always say is that we have indirectly contributed to the road network of Kenya, because so many times the CDF project or resource allocation is not done properly. But when you have one journalist who is following up on the issue 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, till it gets done, then you have an impact. We have also had a fantastic impact at the coast. Indirectly, thanks to the trainings we have done, we can account for nearly 9,000 title deeds given to communities, especially in Kilifi, in Kijipwa settlement scheme. Basically, we train journalists let's say 9, 10 journalists in one place from the local community vernacular radio station, and for 3 months we are with them, and we produce stories on one particular problem until it gets done. So that's why we can account for impact. I think that this project has had a very interesting impact so far, and because my time is counted, I can just talk about what we are doing for this election. As you can see, this is all about conflict prevention, but we need to continue that engagement with the same guys. So nowadays we are not doing so much workshops because journalists are not available, they are too busy, but we have roundtable events between the civil society and the media, trying to push some issues. We have also some events between the Election Commission and the vernacular radio station. It's very important to have this link between the Election Commission and the media. Why? Because the people, they need to know how the election process is going on, and the media needs to be a watchdog of this election process. So we are trying to do that. We have a very, very big activity nowadays that is engaging talk show hosts. We have so many 3 days events with talk show hosts, especially on the issue of vocabulary. Even as we speak, we have a workshop in Kericho with Injili, with Sema FM, with some of those radio stations from the Rift Valley, to have the right vocabulary to talk about the election, and once again not to single out communities, despite the lot of hate speech that is unfortunately publicized in public rallies and in other media. We try to do also a lot on media monitoring, and this is the last thing I can talk about. We have launched 1 month ago a media monitoring activity called the Citizen Watchdog. We have identified 50 monitors. Those guys are just common citizens, and they are monitoring 5 radio stations: Kameme, Inoro, CAS, Radio Rama, and KBC. And every day they listen to those radio stations, and they fill a form on a Google phone, thanks to the Open Data Kit, so an app that is available for free. And we meet those guys after 1 month, and we can see if they have isolated hate speech or dangerous speech, if there is balance in the programming. This is a very interesting tool for us because it helps us refine our curriculum, but it's also very interesting because it has an impact. I was very amazed in a very recent focus group discussion by one of the monitors saying that one of the guys, one of the talk shows from Radio Rama said, "Ah, no, you cannot say that on air, we are monitored. Instead of countering by saying you cannot say this by this and that, the guy was like, the government internews are monitoring us. So that's quite interesting. That's quite interesting. So this is a lot of work that we are doing on conflict prevention. Hopefully the job we are doing will help community and vernacular media disseminate information in a positive manner. But I also know the limits of my project, and we are talking about conflict mitigation. It's conflict mitigation. If there is conflict, there will be conflict. But how to mitigate it? This is the question that we need to ask. Thank you.